Hi everyone, I have another project to share with you. This is a design team project for Nectars Creations on Etsy, and I will link the shop below for you. And this is the new kit that Nectaria has out called September Chic. It is absolutely gorgeous. It is very different from what I normally do. It's very watercolor, very soft, and as you know, I typically would do something vintage. So this was a little bit of a challenge for me to do, but I do love the way this turned out. It is just a beautiful kit. And the kit itself is actually huge. She gives you library pockets and a ton of tags and envelopes with inserts. She gives you die cuts and tabs. She gives you two options for side B, 14 double pages, pattern pages, and the cover. And as I was going through this and working with this kit, I really thought, you know, what a beautiful kit to use to make a wedding planner, for instance. Or as you'll see as I go through the colors in this, I also thought, because of course one of my favorite things to do is travel, I also thought that the colors in this reminded me of the Mediterranean and what a beautiful kit it would be if you were going on a trip to the Mediterranean. So let me stop talking and let me get into this. I've just simply closed it with some turquoise, some kind of pale turquoise seam binding. This is one of the pages. This is not the cover that Nectaria includes. I have edged it with a little bit of gold rub and buff, and then I've painted a cover. I tried to, you know, I'm not an artist, but I tried to make it look a little bit like a watercolor to match this, and then I've just added the pattern paper, and I had all my fibers out. I had lots of lace and all those kinds of things out. And then as I had finished it and started to add the trim, I realized that it would just cover up the beauty of this kit. And I really left it fairly simple, just because I really think the pages need to breathe, and I think they speak for themselves. And I think really sometimes things can be overdone. And this kit definitely needs to have some space. So inside I've just done a simple pocket here, and I mean honestly, this paper, you really could put this kit together and do nothing, and it would be stunning, because the papers, I mean, look at this. Yeah. Speechless, really. I mean, it's just beautiful. So this is one of the side B that she gives you. I've done very minimal stamping, you can see here. I have added a couple of bags, and so here's one of the inserts. I have, on some of the pages, I've just cut them up into extra tags and extra journaling spots. And you can see I've used a little bit of trim here. I don't know if you can see that. That is, I've cut up some of this kind of turquoisey lace. I don't know if you can see that very well. I got this from Rachel when we did a swap last year, and so it was, I wanted to keep everything fairly light, and so that's what I've done here. I've just added it, cut it up and added it a little bit to the edge of that. And here's all the tabs. And then there's a little bit of a tea theme as well going through it, so I've just added one of the teacups that she gives you as cutouts, as a pocket. This is the other side B page. Then I've just added some little notes, and again I just cut up some of the paper, and that's one of the tags. And you know, I mentioned that I decided to keep it simple. I was going to do lots of fibers and so on, but really all this needed was some embroidery floss to top the tags off. I just chose a few of the colors that I had that matched the kit, and that's what I've used throughout. I've added an envelope here and just a little bit of fine lace trim to that. And this is a little glassine envelope, and again I've just added some of the paper there for a journaling spot. Another of her tags, and then this is one of the pockets that she gives you, and then those are the inserts. And then in the center of the signatures I've added little butterflies here. And this is one of the library pockets. Again, one of the tags. And then I cut that one out myself. Beautiful. And you can see a little bit of stamping here that I've done. And this is one of the cutouts that she gives you. I just fussy cut that. I added a little bit of tea-dyed paper to go with this. And a little bag, and that's a tag I just cut out. Again, I fussy cut that out. She gives you a couple of these side pockets, so that's a side pocket. And then I added another bag, and this was just an image that I had of teacups, and I thought it was perfect color and the perfect theme to go with this. And this is one of my favorite images. You'll see it a couple of times throughout. And in fact, I had considered doing that on the cover of this as well. It's beautiful, just beautiful. So you can see as I go through this, you don't need to do anything on this. You could put it together simply, and there's a ton of space for writing, a ton of space, you know, here to put pictures and so on. This was, I fussy cut that out, that teapot, and added that. And then in this bag is an insert, and then I've added a little paper clip. And then this is one of the petal pockets. There's two of those, and there's a couple of these inserts. Oh, I've got three, I guess. Yes, I do have three. So there, that's the petal envelope, and then this is another of the tags. And I just added a little pocket on the front, and you can see more of that turquoise lace trim. And then that's one of the big tags she gives you, and I've just added some of that ledger paper as extra writing paper, and that's another of her tags. A little bit of stamping here and at the top. And I've done double pockets here. And just a couple of tags that I cut out here. And then these are some of the inserts. And again, the butterflies. And I've used that, that's a larger die cut that I've cut out, and I thought it would be great for notes, and then that's one of the die cuts, again, for notes. Beautiful. And again, just some paper that I've cut up, and that's a quote on one of the die cuts, and it says, "Strange how a teapot can represent at the same time the comforts of solitude and the pleasures of company." I think that's true. So you could pick up any of the colors. You could just go with kind of the mauve. You could just go with the pinks. You could just go with the turquoise throughout this. Just really lots of options. Again, that's one of the die cuts. This is another of the tags. This bag I got actually from A Tattered Dream, Denise's store. She's on Etsy as well. I'll link Denise's shop as well. And then this is, I just cut that out, and I've left it open as another pocket there. And this is a glassine bag, and I've just cut out that tag, large tag, more of that lace. And then I've just added a couple of journaling spots with that paper clip. And that's an envelope. I mean, really, this paper doesn't need really anything. I mean, honestly, it does speak for itself, really. There's the cover image again. And then another of the tags. And this is one of the envelopes that she gives you. And you saw the inserts for this I have earlier on in the book. Here's another library pocket. And, whoops, another tag. And then this is the other pocket that she gives you. Beautiful. And then there's the other side pocket and another tag. So a ton of room to journal in this book. And I did do 4 signatures in this book. And the other half of the bag, I've added a little bit of very light lace. Another tag, and then another die cut, and another tag that I cut. Beautiful image. And then this little side pocket, I've got a couple of tags that I cut out, and then this is the other petal envelope that she gives you with the kit. And then there are, there's 3, or is there, no, there's 3. There we go. Then she gives you 3 journaling spots to put in there. So she gives you a ton of things. That's just a side pocket, and I don't have anything in there. I'll have to find something. Another bag, and I just had this picture of these ladies having their tea, so I thought that was kind of cute to put in. I've just got matching tags in here. I think these pages that have these colors and these flowers, these are my favorite. Just gorgeous. And then I've got that image again as a journaling card, just because I had to. I couldn't resist using it one more time. And then I've got a vellum pocket, another tag that I made. That's one of the inserts for one of the pockets, and then that's another of the die cuts. So you can see this does not need any embellishing, really. I think too much and it would just be, you would lose the beauty of the kit, actually. And that's, I mean, certainly that's my opinion. But definitely I think it's a kit that you need to go and check out. I think there's a ton of things that you could do with it, and I think whatever you did would be stunning. That's another of the images that I've fussy cut out and just added to that page. And that's the back, and I've just got another of those pockets. So there we go. That is September Chic, and that is from Nectars Creations. I will have the link below. I really encourage you to go over and check out that kit. It is beautiful, and I think there's so many things that you could do with it. So thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.